we're going on tour, and this is...
it's been a while.
March 2025 is when our tour is happening. First of all, we're going to Tempe, Arizona, maybe our favorite city of all time.
It's the best.
That is on March 16th, and then we go to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Maybe our favorite city ever.
Truly,
I've never
the best
loved a
city we've ever gone to.
That's on March 17th, and then we go to Oklahoma City, which
the best, our favorite. We often say that it's our number one.
Yeah, it's our number one, the best city I've ever been to. That's on March 18th. On March 19th, we're going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Our favorite city, without question.
And then we head to Dallas, Texas on March 20th.
Our favorite city.
It's the best There's never been a better city than Dallas.
If you don't like it, you're a Dallas asshole.
Thank you. And then we go to Houston, Texas on March 21st.
Best city.
Which is by far the best city. And then we end our tour in Austin, Texas on March 22nd at the Cap City Comedy Club.
It's the best city.
In the entire world.
Number one city in the world.
You can get tickets at dolloppodcast.com/tour.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV.
Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Colorado Chevy dealer.
You're listening to The Dollop. This is an American history podcast where each week I, Dave Anthony, read a story from American history to my filth.
Fuck. Really? I thought you were going to go sentimental. Gareth Reynolds, who has no idea what the topic is going to be about. And
many more.
Neither does this week's guest.
Oh, James Adomian.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Here we go. Last one.
I've seen some guesses.
Yeah.
Everybody's been wrong. September 26, 1968.
I knew it. It's
about the Vietnam War.
Yeah, the Vietnam War was born.
Ooh. Storm is raging.
James Patrick Caviezel Jr. was born in Mount Vernon, Washington.
Just a shot away.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
September 1968.
Jim Caviezel.
September 1968. That's when Jesus Christ was born.
Yeah. But with more come this time.
More come.
Wow. Is he the reincarnation of Robert Kennedy?
Oh, wow. It's very possible.
It is.
It's technically possible.
It's actually very likely.
Wow. James' mother, Margaret, was a beauty pageant winner in Illinois, as she says many times, although not on the website.
What website? Pageants of Illinois?
They list all of the winners of the website. She says of the pageant.
She said she won?
She's not on there.
23andcaviezel.com.
Yeah.
She got into acting, and then she met her future husband, James, at a cast party. He played basketball at UCLA before going to Iowa to enter chiropractic school.
Nice.
They married. They moved to Washington, Mount Vernon, Washington. He's a chiropractor. She's a home mom. They have 5 kids, all raised Catholic.
If it's more than 5, they're Mormon. If it's 5, that's straight down the line Catholic.
Yeah.
James, quote, "We're real," this is Dad, "we're real strong in our faith, the Catholic faith. All the kids grew up that way. To know it's God first, family second, and business third."
Spine last.
I like to think of my rankings as a series of spinal vertebrae.
Yeah.
At the top, at the base of the skull,
C1.
that's God.
That's C1. That's God. C4. That's around family time. That's where family kicks in.
All the way down at the base of your spine, where the coccyx is.
Yeah.
That's your tires on your car. How the good condition of your tires. on your car.
Tailbone is company picnics.
Your anus is Satan.
Yeah, anus is where the devil goes. Trust me.
You know, I always know that I'm talking to a smart person when you get a guy who's like, you know, the way I see it is this. Number one, it's God. When they have a ranking in there. Number one, it's God. Number two is country. It's God, country, and then oddly enough, it's my extended family.
Can't you just have a life?
Yeah. No, well, sure. Life is number 5. Having a life.
No, I mean...
So, like I said, his mom was an actor. They called acting the Blarney. They're fun.
Not following.
They're fun.
Not following.
The mom was an actor?
Yeah.
And the Blarney is...
She did local stage kind of stuff.
Did you look it up on the website?
The Blarney?
No, the thing, her resume.
Oh yeah, she just did
She has a propensity for fibbing.
local. Yeah, she just did local theater kind of stuff.
Burlesque. Whipping stuff.
Right.
Private bachelor parties.
Right, yeah.
So Jim was said to be a very intense kid. He was into sports and religion.
Sure. In that order.
At 14, Jim said he called out to God, quote, "Can you please help me? Help me find my purpose." Classic 14-year-old shit. That's just what 14-year-old kids do. God, what am I doing?
Ooh.
God, why? Why must I carry out your command you gave to me to gouge out my own eyes, Lord?
Well, God said it's acting.
Oh.
God said, oh, wow.
God said, you're going to be an actor. But he wouldn't try acting for years. So that's weird that he asked God when he's 14, got an answer.
I don't know. I don't think I want to do that right now.
I'm going to try.
Hey, what's a different purpose? Can I get a new purpose?
Say football, say football, say football.
God's giving me the wrong answers.
God.
So Jim goes to Mount Vernon High School for 2 years, and then a Catholic school, and then another Catholic school. So he went to 4 high schools.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, he couldn't stick around. At the Catholic schools, he played basketball. So he played basketball all the way through first year of college. Then he got injured, so that dream's over.
What's my purpose? Oh, look who comes crawling back. I told act, man.
He goes to the University of Washington, and while he's there, he calls his dad, and he asks for $300 because he is going to take modeling pictures. So he did clothing ads. He got an acting agent. So at another interview I found, Jim said at 19, God told him to be an actor.
Wait, but he told him that at 14.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, in another interview, he said that. Yeah.
Get a roll on Becker. Try. It's pretty good.
Quote.
God was like, take Fountain. It's faster.
Go down Fountain. I have an audition downtown. You won't find parking.
Get a Thomas guide.
Get a Thomas. Oh, my God. Remember?
A4.
I remember when
Verdugo Road.
when I did kids' birthday parties and my boss was like, get a Thomas guide.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this job. I was like, this won't happen.
I remember my dad was very particular about, he was like, the new Thomas guides are not, you can't, don't ever get me a new one. It has to be the previous size. That's smaller because you have to fit in your lap while you're driving.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a system to it.
There was a system. People that know what we're talking about, we used to have, before phones, we had it was a book that had a maps book.
It was a big floppy book in your car. While
Tell
you
him
were
about
driving.
maps, old man. You kids don't know what maps are, do you? Your phones, huh? Well, what are you going to do when the terrorists take out your Wi-Fi?
That's the first thing they go for, right?
Yeah, that's right. You won't be able to go on your Tinders or your TikToks. Your MapQuest apps will fail you.
You know there's a guy with a Thomas guy just waiting for everything to fall apart.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I fucking told you.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a hand-cranked rail car and a Thomas guy.
All these roads have changed. My plan.
Yeah. What is this 105 freeway?
105 East. Where the fuck is the airport? Son of a bitch. My plan.
So God tells Jim at 19 to be an actor, quote, I felt this peace I have never felt before. I heard God say, I'd like you to be an actor. I did not know where to go. I was going to take him, it was going to take him to teach me and bring me to the right teachers, the right films to do.
That is crazy.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy, but it's not like it's so actor crazy.
Yes.
To be like, God told, like, if there is a God, telling someone to be an actor is the worst advice ever. Get Taft-Hartley'd as soon as possible.
You need 3 pink slips from SAG-AFTRA, and then you're eligible.
You're now a must join, Jim.
Don't worry, someday AFTRA and SAG will join together.
Yeah, you don't have to join SAG. Just wait a couple of years, and you'll automatically be put into it.
So he does plays in Seattle, and then, as God intended, he landed a small role in the queer film My Own Private Idaho.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, girl.
Hey, God, that's kind of contradictory advice you've given me, huh?
Go with me,
Are you
Jim.
sure? Because
Go with me.
There's a lot of gay stuff in this movie, God.
Jim, I want you to dance in a bar called the Jackhammer.
This is just a man through a tube. Who are you? Hey, Jim. It's me, your landlord. Listen. So sorry.
So Jim got the role by convincing the casting director he was a recent Italian immigrant.
Oh, wow.
His role in the movie was airline clerk.
And where are you going? What is your destination? Huh? Idaho? I've never even heard of it. Whoa. Is it private?
So that got him into SAG. He moves to L.A. He said on his first day in the city, he walked 25 miles, then took a cab to his hotel and ate a steak.
He got lost.
He did not know where the fuck he was.
He's got the Thomas guide out.
He sounds like the halfway point from LAX to downtown was Hermosa Beach.
25 miles. And then got a cab.
Then he got a cab.
I can't find a taxi in this town.
Jim studied acting at USC. He appeared in The Wonder Years as a basketball player. In 1993, his sister set him up on a blind date with Carrie Browett, who was an English teacher and ex-college basketball player.
Okay. Sports. For sure, sports.
Sports. She was also a devout Catholic, and after 3 years, they got married.
So far, nothing interesting has happened in his life.
It's actually
Get ready.
very true.
No, it hasn't really.
It's a very good point.
It's all pretty normal. I mean,
I rebelled, and I decided to play defense.
yes. At this point, it was like my story would almost be over. Like when I was 18, I was like, "Woo, I'm going to stop doing drugs now." So in 1994, Jim lands a role in Wyatt Earp. So that was a big role for him.
Shit, that was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
He was
Not because of him.
No, not because of him. He's Costner's brother in that. And then 4 years later, he got his big break in The Thin Red Line, which he was like in the first 20 minutes. Sounds like it was really fun on set. So they're on the set, and Jim points at a large rock. Quote, this is Jim telling the story. Quote, I said, look at this. See this rock here? And Sean said, yeah. And I said, I have kind of a charity thing. I was just trying to get $20 from him. And this thing weighs about 5 million tons, right? But it's just hanging there, and it looks like it's going to fall. And I said to Sean, I'm against people pushing those rocks.
I tell you, I was cutting it up on set. I was always just, mixing it up with the guys. As a man of faith in Hollywood, you got to mix it up with the guys. You got to let them know that you're not just a box of crayons, okay?
Jim, find better bits on set. It's pretty awkward on it. What are you going for? This man's won an Oscar.
I says to Sean, my buddy Sean Penn, I call him Sean. I said to Sean, you see that rock there?
Keep going.
That's the same word as the word for Peter in Latin, because
Jesus.
Peter is the rock of the church.
Jim, Jesus Christ, go to your trailer. Write something down, rehearse it, and pretend it's off the cuff. What are you doing right now?
It's an igneous rock, Sean.
Don't say anything else about the rock, Jim. Jesus Christ, it's not you.
It's volcanic. And it's from no more than 5,000 years ago.
Jim!
So Jim was cast as Cyclops in X-Men, but he had to drop out because
he had 2 eyes.
He had 2 eyes. What are you gonna do? God cursed him on that one.
It's a pagan mythology.
He had to drop out because he had a scheduling conflict with the movie Frequency, which he starred in. And Jim's character talks to his dead dad through an old ham radio. And there's a serial killer that has to be stopped.
Imagine if we had that technology, Dave.
So in 2001, Jim was in Angel Eyes with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
And they had
Great movie.
a sex scene.
Great movie. Great
Is it?
sex scene.
Is it a good?
Sex scene's unbelievable.
Yes.
Now, when I do sex scenes, I prepare because it's right on the edge of what my faith will allow, and I go straight to the book of the Song of Solomon. I read the Old Testament Song of Solomon. I read the book of Ecclesiastes and some of the excesses that God ultimately forgave with the wisest man, and I go back to that.
Just fuck her, Jim. Jesus Christ, you're getting paid.
Jesus, you're edging with your fucking mouth.
Go.
Jim only agreed to do the movie after being promised they would keep their private parts covered during sex scenes.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, what the fuck? Yeah, no, that's like the director was like, yeah, no shit, dude. It's not a porn. I won't fully fuck her, sir. Yeah, that's where nobody's at.
Excuse me! I'm not gonna fuck Jennifer Lopez!
She was like, what did he just say? I won't do it.
Not Jenny from around the block or whatever.
I'll need some kind of pillow that's in between us, like a pillow that's just like the medium kind of pillow that you get in a hotel room.
Like an airplane, like the pillow the airline will give you when you want to kip on an international one.
I turned to Jennifer and I said, as an actor to actor, I went to her and I said, what's going to be good for you as far as pillows? What do you... A standard, like a long pillow, like from a king-size bed, or something smaller, like a little couch kind of divan pillow?
I want a
throw pillow or something.
hemorrhoid pillow.
What, a hemorrhoid pillow? Uh-huh. That's kind of a crazy answer, Jennifer. To be honest with you.
Jim, quote, I just said, look, put a top on her. I'm going to keep my shorts on. She's going to keep hers on. Get the camera and shoot around it. And that's out of devotion, love, and respect to my wife.
What? Oh.
Please hook to the biggest.
It's the worst sex scene ever. It's the worst sex scene
Wait,
ever.
are we saying...
Then that's the moment where it came right there.
Was it?
I think you usually can indicate that there's a transfer of ejaculate blessed by the Lord.
Yep.
When you blink and stare. You blink and you stare.
Oh. Wow.
I mean, that, like, they couldn't shoot a sex scene because of what he wanted to do. They're like,
just
I guess,
light kissing, like...
I guess just sit on each other.
My seed.
Well, you see, that's the kind of thing that's acceptable to do with someone that you're not married.
Yes.
Yeah.
You sit, you look,
Yep.
you hold each other, and you cry.
Yep.
Yep.
I think he did come. I don't think you're wrong in that moment. It felt like he did go like, like in the movie, and she was like, oh, good. And then he started kissing a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, get hugged like a dirty pig.
Neck. Little more necking, Jim. That's nice. Oh, man.
2 years later, he's the lead in The Count of Monte Cristo.
Easier, no sex scenes to worry about.
Yeah.
Jim said Disney tried to remove God from the script. And the execs mocked him when he fought to keep God in the script, saying, quote, so you're one of those. Jim claims they eventually gave in and kept God in the script.
Wow.
Just total bullshit. You can't take God out of Count of Monte Cristo. He's a fucking liar. For a sex scene, they were required to be topless. So
in the Count of Monte Cristo?
Yep. So Jim asked the actress to put something between her breast and his chest.
My penis.
Is there anything that's comfortable for you? I mean, as an actor, respectfully. Because I'm going to have a chest, and it's just the chest-to-chest thing to me is something that's very intimate.
What could flatten you with ease? What could make it... Would you mind wearing a little cardboard? Let's both wear barrels.
A couple of kitchen instruments.
You know what I mean?
Large wooden spoons.
Maybe a couple cutting boards.
What if there's a screaming priest between us?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
A large loaf of bread.
We just covered each other in slices.
So
that could be a Monte Cristo. I'm sorry.
A little syrup, a little ham.
Yeah, a little ham. Oh, wait a minute. It's getting dangerous now.
So the actress made pasties out of her flesh-colored underwear to put over her nips.
First of all, that's very embarrassing, first of all. Second of all, there wasn't a wardrobe department that was like, we can handle this. She's like, all right, well, I'll be in my trailer cutting out nipple covers.
From my panties.
From my panties.
Normal.
But don't wear those panties.
While filming, Jim said he became sad and overwhelmed. So Carrie had him meet with a visionary. And they prayed, and Jim said, as they prayed, the Virgin Mary came into the room.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's like a psychic, but they're like, don't worry, it's okay.
It's like a spiritual guide. Yeah.
We're the loophole.
Yeah, we're the loophole. Jim, quote, I don't want to make this sound disgraceful to God, but it's like an orgasm that the Holy Spirit gives you.
Wow. Wait.
Virgin Mary coming into the room is like having blowing your wad for Christ. I don't know exactly what he's saying.
I think it was disgraceful for the Holy Spirit. I think the Holy Spirit was like, remove myself from you, child.
So while doing press for the movie, a PR person told the Independent UK, quote, don't ask him about his Catholicism. He did a radio interview yesterday, and once he started talking about religion, well, they could only use this much.
He probably was trying to talk to his dead dad through it. He was like, Dad? Papa? Welcome to BBC Radio. We've got Jim Caviezel. He believes he's communicating through his father. Dad?
Dad?
There's been a murder.
Yeah.
That's the serial killer's son. Why do you think I built the ham radio?
I jacked off to a spirit.
So did I. Listen, though.
Holy shit. All right.
So he also makes the movie High Crimes. There's a scripted sex scene, and Jim said no.
Wow.
He said he would walk off the movie if he had to do the sex scene.
So this was him. This was him walking back.
Yes.
The hot and heavy stuff we just saw.
Yeah.
Well, you saw what happened when he does a sex.
Who among us cast the first stone? You don't have sex by cradling someone and gently rocking like that. You rock like that, and then you go. The next
Turn
movie,
your head.
The next movie, you don't need to be that dirty. The next movie, you're gonna have her put pasties on, and you're just gonna press against each other. You don't need to do any more sex scenes. You've satisfied Bale enough.
You've done everything, honestly.
So they compromise. And in the sex scene, he and Ashley Judd keep their clothes on. But at one point, Jim took off his shirt to reveal another shirt.
Wow. That is awesome.
He's also got one of those Bugs Bunny kisses.
Yep. So now everybody knew, and Jim was being asked all the time about his dislike of sex scenes. And Jim said, quote, "You're never going to see my butt on film unless I'm in the Holocaust walking around."
What the fuck? What a crazy...
I like that he gave people an in.
You want to see my ass?
And that's a great, I think that's a worthy reason to bring up the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I'm not getting naked unless it's the Holocaust, okay?
Because they were all naked. Every time I think of the Holocaust, I think about dicks and asses.
All he had to do was get fat and have an Orson Welles career.
Yep.
All he had to do was be like Cardinal Richelieu type characters, or like, I am the mysterious man with the briefcase. Nobody wants to have sex scenes with those guys.
Yeah, he's staying in shape.
Yeah, he had to, what, dumbass, stop being hot.
Yeah. I get that a lot, though.
Let it go.
What?
Dumbass,
People
stop
say
being
that to
hot.
me. People say, "Dumbass, stop being hot," all the time.
All right. People in the business? Or
Yep, people in the people on the street, people in the business. My
Anyone
wife,
who's owing
my
me.
wife says that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you got a lot of wives in here there, pal.
Mel Gibson saw the Count of Monte Cristo and decided Jim was perfect for Jesus in his planned film, The Passion of the Christ.
Gareth, we are brought to you by Hulu. Ladies and gentlemen, legendary comic icon Bill Burr. He's coming to Hulu on March 14th with this new hilarious stand special, Bill Burr, Drop Dead Years. You get Bill's provocative, unfiltered, honest point of view on everything from marriage and parenthood to dating advice and dropping dead. It's just, yeah. With his signature raw wit and sharp commentary, Bill fearlessly pushes boundaries as he navigates the nonsense and weighs in on mental health, social media, and societal norms. In his first Hulu stand-up special, no topic is off limits, with Bill's refreshingly candid take on the chaotic landscape of our world today. Bill's unique ability to blend deep critique with laugh-out-loud humor is exactly what makes this one of his most personal and funniest hours yet. See the new hilarious stand-up special, Bill Burr, Drop Dead Years, streaming on Hulu March 14th. Bill's one of the greatest. So
Truly
one of
cannot
the
wait.
greatest. Gareth, we are also brought to you by Factor. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals, make eating very easy. They're dietitian approved for people like Gareth. You heat them up 2 minutes. 2 minutes, that's it. That's all. You got all the fuel you need right there. You feel great. You're ready to go. Factor, it arrives fresh and it's fully prepared. It's perfect for any lifestyle you got. You want to be a hooded guy like Gareth, they got a meal for you.
That's right. They got meals for the hooded.
You know, if you want to lose weight, if you want to lose like 8 pounds in 8 weeks, you go Factor keto.
If you want to lose a little hood.
They got 40 options across 8 dietary preferences each week. That's what they're doing. They're giving you all those options.
Factor is so great. There's so much stuff. The protein shakes, they have all that stuff. But the meals are just delicious and easy.
I just had a pesto salmon meal with cream spinach and some green beans, a little bit of tomato in there. Oh, dude.
You loved it?
Dude, it's just
they have great vegetarian meals too. They really do. So
yeah, I've had them. I put them in my face.
You're not allowed to have any of those.
They got different preferences like Calorie Smart and Protein Plus and Keto. So yeah, you want to reach your goals. You want to have a simple, easy meal. This is the way to do it. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use Factor Podcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code Factor Podcast at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
Yeah.
Gareth, we're also brought to you by Mint Mobile.
Talk to me. And when I say talk to me, I mean use Mint Mobile to talk.
Gareth, do you like giving all your money away to big wireless companies?
I've been known to have a problem, and yes, I do enjoy that.
It's not great. I like keeping my money. I'm a big fan of keeping my money, and we've all been paying for years, overpaying for wireless.
Yes,
it's insane how much wireless costs. Crazy bills, super expensive, just insane fees. You know, they give you like a perk, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that's going to cost you more money." That's great.
Yep.
So we switched to Mint Mobile. So no more overpriced wireless plan, and it's great.
Yep.
It works.
Yes. Same deal.
Yeah. So Mint Mobile, they'll rescue all of you with your premium wireless plans. $15 a month. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, which is crazy.
$15 a month. You get high-speed data, unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone, so that's not a problem.
Yep. Keep your number. Not a problem.
Yep. So you just get rid of the overpriced wireless nonsense, and you get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. I would recommend it to anybody.
Same.
My wife's doing it now.
I thought I wasn't consulted on her.
You're not my wife.
No, but I am allowed to. No. I'm allowed to weigh in on family decisions without question.
You're not part of the family.
I absolutely am part of. When did you have a meeting about that? Because I would have.
Weird uncle. If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/dollop. That's mintmobile.com/dollop. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5-gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Yes. Yeah. And we can't say enough about going to watch Bill's special. And a lot of people often ask, when is Bill going to do an episode? As soon as he has something to promote, he's going to do it. So we're just waiting for there to be like a thing.
Yeah.
So his special comes out Friday, so go give that a watch on Hulu. And as soon as he has something that he needs to push or plug, he's going to come on the show.
He's going to come on the show. Yeah.
Attorney Mike Berg is a Denver institution, college and law school in Denver, founded the nationally renowned law firm Berg Simpson in Denver, has won or recovered billions of dollars for his personal injury clients, and he's a member of the very prestigious Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame. If you need help with a personal injury case, Berg Simpson is here for you, offering unparalleled legal representation and maximizing your chances of a significant settlement or jury award. Good lawyers changing lives. That's Berg Simpson, BURGSimpson.com.
So Mel and Jim meet. And
I won't show my ass.
Only if Jesus is in the Holocaust.
Only if Jesus is bending over to pick up something. Then I'll show balls and anus.
Is there any kind of straw or wicker that we can put over Mary Magdalene's breasts?
It's possible.
Also, the foot washing. They need to have little booties on. Yes. Socks. And if I'm going to wash their feet, there needs to be socks.
I'm married, you see.
So Jim said he would do it. But then a bit later, Mel called to explain, quote, if you take this part, you may not work in this town again. Because that's what happens when you play Jesus.
Sure.
You never work in the town again.
Yeah.
Jim, being in my movie is going to be the most dangerous thing of your life.
Yes.
And that's not egotistical. That's just me complimenting myself.
Yeah. By the way, I'm an alcoholic.
Raging alcoholic.
I hate Jews.
At one point, because they would have this conversation all the time, and Jim said, quote, look, we all have to bear our crosses.
And he's saying that...
And Mel Gibson was like, good idea. Draft number 2.
And Mel just keeps saying it. And at one point, Jim said, quote, Mel, my initials are JC, and I'm 33 years old. And Mel replied, quote, you're freaking me out, and hung up the phone.
They are so perfect for one another. I watched the original Lethal Weapon probably a year ago.
Yeah.
It was on TV, and I was like, this character they've created is legitimately scary.
Yes.
Like, back then, people were like, wow, yeah. He's just a wild man. Riggs, he's crazy.
No, he's out of his fucking
it's like
mind.
problematic. And you can tell Mel Gibson's like, I'll make up a lot of it.
So during filming, Jim said he and Mel went to Mass almost every single day together. Then Jim heard the Pope went to confession every day, so Jim did the same. Quote, I didn't want the Lucifer to have any control over the performance.
Jim, it's God again. Look, I did all this. Chill out so much. This is crazy what's going on. Calm down.
Mel Gibson was like, you're freaking me out, man. Lucifer, he's the angel of light. All right, we're going to make this picture. Lighting department, you're out. Grip and electric, out. All. Natural lighting only. Candles, Barry Lyndon from now on. This is Jesus Christ here. If the sun's not out, we're not filming that day.
You're freaking me out.
So,
Mel.
That's all of Mel Gibson's performance. Hey, Mel, would you audition to play Hamlet? Sure. You got it. You win.
his wife brought a man who lived in a Croatian village where an apparition of Mary had appeared and still appeared. So this guy, the guy that she brought, gave Jim a piece of the cross Jesus died on. Quote, what? I kept this on me all the time. They made a special pocket in my clothes for it.
What the fuck? No way.
Yes. No, it's not real.
No, it was just like from
crazy.
a door.
Yeah.
That'll work. That's what this little jean pocket here is for. Pop a little bit of the old cross in there.
The set of The Passion was incredibly dangerous and should have had a union rep there to protect the actors.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't even mean to do it like that.
It was filmed in a ghost town in Italy. Entertainment Weekly reported that Jim and the first AD were struck by lightning.
No.
Yeah. A producer, quote, I'm about 100 feet away from them when I glance over and see lightning coming out of Caviezel's ears.
You're freaking me out, man. What?
Both Caviezel and Michelini got struck. The main bolt hit Caviezel, and one of its forks hit Michelini's umbrella. That was the second time Michelini had been struck by lightning on the set.
It's time for Michelini to leave.
I looked at Mel, and I looked at Mel in that moment, and I said, I said, are we gonna keep filming? And Mel said, cut. And that's when I fell into a pile of ashes. And then he came scooped me up with a broom, whisked me into a little dustpan, and then he poured it out, and I came back to life like this.
That one really freaked him out.
Yeah. You're freaking me out, man. Jim's story kind of has been exaggerated over time. Jim, quote, I climbed the mountain. Clouds had formed. 5 seconds before the strike, I had felt what was going to happen. Suddenly, I was struck by lightning. I was terrified, but at the same time, I felt peace on the inside. Before it all happened, Mel had shouted action. It was at the moment I was stroked. Afterwards, I heard Mel shouting, what the hell happened to his hair? It was really funny.
It's all over
that
the
was
place.
that was the one time I was sure that it wasn't a message from God at all, because I had talked to Mel Gibson on the phone.
On the movie, the crown of thorns kept moving, so they tightened it to his head, which caused Jim migraines, and that made him too sick to eat. He walked the streets carrying the heavy wooden cross, and then he fell one day. Quote, as I went down the cross, it actually struck my head and buried my head in the sand. I bit through my tongue. In the tape, you'll see streams of blood coming down from my lip. That's actually my own blood.
What the fuck? What is he doing?
Mel Gibson crucified this man.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, this is like...
I'm freaking me out, man.
And then he blamed it on the Jews.
Well, this movie is why we have union reps.
Yeah.
He had a torn AC joint. When he was whipped by Roman soldiers, one accidentally hit Jim, causing a 14-inch cut in his back.
Is he Jesus?
That's the question we're going to answer.
It's the second coming of Jesus, and he lives in Malibu.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not doing anything to save anybody. He's just rich, giving like bad interviews.
Falling a lot. He's calling for, he needs his dad on set.
Yeah.
Dad, the cross fell on me. It's C9, Jim, where really, you've got a lot of pressure right there.
Was that, was that a vertebrae or a Thomas guide?
That was,
grid?
it was using a Thomas guide on the back.
A real chiropractor, he has the top. You want the spine to look like
Here
a
we
freeway.
go. You want to, yeah. It's kind of like Sepulveda if you really think about it.
Yeah. It shouldn't be like this. It should be like this.
Wide open.
It was also very cold. Quote, we were at a 1,000-foot cliff, and the winds would come down on top of it. I had a dislocated left shoulder. On top of that, I had pneumonia. I got really sick.
It's crazy. How much of this do you think is true?
A lot of it, actually,
Wow.
from what
I would say there are some Tex Avery cartoons that are more believable than this.
Yeah, honestly.
I think Mel Gibson is fucking nuts, and I think that they're essentially doing his own stunts.
Well,
he's
also like, he's probably as playing Jesus in his head. He's like, I really need to
That's 100%.
get fucked up and act for your sins.
Yes.
Yeah.
He thinks the more hurt he is, the more he's genuinely doing the role.
Right. Okay. Well, it's fun.
Jim doesn't really realize movie sets can be safe environments, and he says it was dangerous. Quote, a lot of these mistakes were occurring, but it was making something much more beautiful that will last forever. If we had shot that film in a studio, you wouldn't have seen that performance. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Because otherwise you'd be acting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would be nice to see some guy getting beat up and whipped with one of those old Hollywood studio backdrops where they're like, all right, it's time for me to walk out of this town. And it's clearly just like a painting.
Yeah. Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. Let's go, fellas.
Come on. Look at that star. Let's go find this baby.
And there's a yellow brick road that just winds off into the distance.
Jesus Christ, we met a cowardly lion. All right, fuck it. We're going to go see a baby born without semen.
Jim believed the movie would convert people if he really looked like Jesus, and his wife agreed. Carrie, quote, the first time I saw the cross on him, he didn't, it must be him on the cross. He didn't look.
I like it that way.
I thought that she was like, it looks good on you.
Oh, no.
That's great.
It looks good on you. It makes you look tall.
Yeah.
No, she is saying the first time she saw him carrying the cross.
Yeah,
So
carrying the cross.
The first time I saw
it was down Fountain, 25 miles towards his hotel, and then he got a steak.
I told him, always take Fountain.
Cab.
Then he got in a cab, and he had to put it on top, and then he got a steak.
The first time I saw the cross on him, he didn't look like my husband. He looked like Christ. It was so
That's
real.
A crazy fucking thing to
Yes.
think and
Yes.
then say.
Yes.
He was Christ.
It was so...
And, there were a couple of times when I did actually... I asked him to stay in costume and have the cross with him, and after he was done filming, and I wanted to know what it was like to fuck God.
He insisted I wear pasties, and he put a towel over it. But
I was dry humped. Were you there when I was dry humped by my Lord? Sometimes it causes me to fake it. Fake it.
It was so real that people looked at him in the way that people must have reacted to Christ. Some were full of reverence, some were indifferent, and some made fun of him. It struck us both.
Like
We understand in a small way what it must have been like.
Crazy. I mean, how do you not, like, to me, that would be blasphemous. Like, if you're saying, if you're, just because you believe in it, you could be like, Jim was Jesus for a little while back then.
I would love it if they really got to their head and he came to set one day and he was like, they're giving people snacks on the set of the Lord? No! Or he overturned craft services. Red vines!
And then you see him eating a fruit roll-up. Jim! Where are we rolling? Let's go. Come on. We're all starving.
Both Jim and Carrie said the same thing. Quote, there will never be a more important thing that he ever does.
Yep.
Well, that's a great way to parlay this into more work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before the film was released, Jim screened it for higher-ups at the Vatican.
Oh, that must have been amazing.
And
now,
then,
they were allowed
Can you guys take your hats off? Nobody can see. Everyone's having a lot of trouble.
Your hat will come off.
Yeah, sir.
Your hat will come off before the curtain, sir.
Sir, please.
What? Why is someone washing my feet? Jesus.
Yeah. Stick around for the bloopers, Bishop.
They were allowed to jerk off as long as there was like the insulation, like bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap.
Yes.
They had to do it through bubble wrap.
That's right. That's the only way. There's no other way to do it.
Yeah, that's all you hear during it. It sounds like a lot of you up front are jerking off. So if you could, it's a very convincing performance, Jim. Oh, wow. Oh, Craig. Oh, wow. Oh, can we get a sneeze guard on the film? Oh, yeah. Oh.
So after screening,
Father Saavedra, it seems all your bubbles have flattened.
I had a good time popping them.
So after screening at the Vatican, he and Carrie made the pilgrimage to Medjugorje. This is where, in 1981, two young girls saw a woman holding a baby on Mount Podbordro. Obviously, it was the Virgin Mary. Ever since, tons of Catholics make the pilgrimage every year to see Mary, even though the Catholic Church investigated it and said it was not legit.
Wow. And they do thorough investigations.
Yep.
I've seen Sister Wendy.
Yeah, they do. They got to the bottom of a lot.
Yeah. So Jim and Carrie visited to see and feel Mary, and Carrie had already been once when Jim was filming Monte Cristo, so this is her second time. Carrie, quote, I knew immediately from what I was feeling in my heart that it was real.
Yep, that's how it works.
Yep, that's exactly how it works. Two little 5-year-olds saw a lady with a baby, and they're like, we saw the Virgin Mary.
Wow.
So Jim is now a big Christian celebrity.
Right.
He was part of Reform the Vote, which was the evangelical answer to Rock the Vote.
Jesus, I mean, Rock the Vote was pathetic, but it's absolutely Reform the Vote.
Quote, we're trying to do something just as hip and entertaining, but without being too risque.
That's right.
Yeah, you know,
it's pretty cool.
Risque. Rock the Vote was filthy.
Yeah.
They had the bare naked ladies.
Disgusting. They almost swore in a song.
Jim made an ad telling young evangelicals to vote. It was sent by email. It was on jumbo screens at Christian concerts, on thousands of radio stations. So he's like a big deal.
Right.
He basically was making it known, opposed to abortion, judicial activism, and homosexual marriage. You know, the big three.
Yeah, right.
And
the Holy Trinity.
cradle hug fucking.
Cradle hug.
Yeah,
fucking.
and if you, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Not rock the vote. Slowly kind of move backwards and forwards for the vote. And then when you do bust, kiss the neck lightly and shamefully blink. Well,
brush the box.
Brush the box. This election season, we're asking you to brush the box. Don't even put the vote in. Slowly go around it before dropping your ballot. Put a towel over the hole on the ballot box and gingerly go near it. The box might want you to drop it in eventually, but don't.
I have never given a full insertion to any kind of election material.
No. Don't give her the hanging Chad.
When the Pope died, Jim went to the funeral as a guest of Senator Rick Santorum.
Oh my God!
I love that Santorum's like, you want to plus? We want a plus one. I got an extra.
Santorum actually. He was an icon. Eventually,
yep.
Didn't he have a verb?
Yeah,
he got
Santorum,
He got verbed.
He got verbed.
It's I believe it's a noun that describes the frothy mix of fecal matter and expended sperm that's inside of an asshole.
Yeah, people.
The plus one.
Yeah,
they got it. It was when you Googled it. That's what came up.
Yeah,
that was the best thing Dan Savage ever did.
It was.
The legacy is great of Santorum.
The best thing.
Sounds like Seattle over there.
Yeah.
The best thing Santorum ever did was when his wife had a baby who was dead. They brought it home for the kids to meet.
Well, that's the intermission.
Was that Weekend at Babies?
Oh my God.
It's a lower threshold of like pulling it off, I guess.
It's a miracle.
Oh.
He doesn't do much yet.
Holy fuck.
At the funeral, other congressional reps were starstruck, like Rep Gil Gutnicht.
And that was a senator?
That's a rep.
Oh, wow.
He said Jim was a Vatican expert, an amateur historian, and then he quoted Jesus in Aramaic.
Sure.
Gil when he got back, he wrote an op-ed for local papers, quote, his steely blue eyes emphasized these were much more than memorized lines for a movie. I wondered whether Mel Gibson chose him for the part or he was merely an instrument in the decision.
Yeah, right.
In 2009, Jim said he was Jesus wherever he went. Quote,
wow, this is crazy.
I can't take my collar off. It doesn't matter what I wear now. It has gone beyond that. People used to mouth the words, there goes Jim, and you can see there's Jim Caviezel. Now they mouth the words, there goes Jesus.
That's so fucking crazy.
That's a good and a bad thing.
Isn't that, but wouldn't this, it sounds like
the talented Mr. Ripley.
The non-talented Mr. Ripley.
Everything here seems to remind me of Jesus. Everything that is except for you. What have you done with Jesus?
Oh my God.
Jim now claims he is blacklisted from Hollywood because he played Jesus, not because he was a sex symbol dude who wouldn't fuck women on camera.
Well, also,
where's my cum towel?
At every opportunity, he got in front of a microphone and was like, I'm blacklisted.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm taking a role that will inevitably lead to my blacklisting.
Yes.
Here I am to promote a film that's unpromotable.
From the time The Passion came out to 2011, he was in at least 7 films and had a reoccurring role on a TV show. Then in 2011, he was cast by Jonathan Nolan and J.J. Abrams to star in Person of Interest on CBS.
That's a crazy reaction. Will you shave for the role, Jesus? That's the only question, because we see the back of your hands and your profiles.
I'll shave if it's a principal role.
It is a principal. We're looking for the lead.
Is it a featured guest role?
No, it is a lead. We're looking for an absolute lead and person of interest. We'll let you keep a little bit of stubble.
The stubble that will make it work, yeah.
And there are a lot of sex scenes. That's the only thing.
Mostly receiving.
Yeah, it's mostly, yeah.
Well, it's fine. We could put those in, and then just later on, in 300 years, it'll get cut out of the version of it that people get to read.
That's right. Yeah, we'll translate that. Absolutely. Yep. No problem. Yep.
So in the show, Jim is an ex-CIA agent and Green Beret, John Reese. He works with a guy who developed a computer program for the government called The Machine.
Whoa.
In the show, the machine can identify people planning terrorist acts.
The machine can identify people planning terrorist acts.
Yes.
Aha, yes. So, pre-crime.
Yes,
yeah, future crimes.
Now, some of you may have heard the episode I did of the QAnon podcast. QAnon is a fantastic podcast. QAnon Anonymous. They do all things Q. Jake Rockentansky and Travis View and Julian Feld. Julian Feld did a lot of investigation into Jim's time on Person of Interest. So that's where I took a lot of this from, got their permission. So we're going to cover it here. Julian interviewed 3 crew members on the show.
Oh, boy.
They said a name was
People
created.
of interest.
A name was created by the crew.
Oh, God.
For when you were caught in an incoherent discussion with Jim. They called it the Cavortex.
The Christ hole. They called it the Vortex?
Cavortex.
The
Cavortex is amazing. Oh, my God. So you'd just be standing there and he'd be like, how was your weekend?
Now, you know, the reason it's called the Book of Enoch is because he was taken up from heaven.
Yeah,
and that's why
of
the
course.
book was taken up out of the Protestant Bible.
I think they're almost set up on the...
we need Jim on set.
They're almost set up on the turnaround, so we should probably...
You know, the translation is different in the Septuagint.
Yeah.
And the Septuagint is different than it,
I know.
than it
We're
is
just
in the,
probably going to...
in the
We're not
Dead
even going to
Sea
make
Scrolls.
the day if we don't get moving, so that's the whole... But no, that's unbelievable. That's a crazy...
You realize that Jesus never says, thou shalt not kill. That's not there.
I didn't know that was not attributed to him.
It's a fabrication. It's a fabrication of the medieval church. That's a fabrication of the
I'm getting it in my
Anglicans.
earpiece. We're really ready to... They're so ready to... The stand-ins are...
Jim on set,
everything's
please.
lit.
Jim on
You know
set.
what they say? The way Adam and
Everything's
Eve,
lit and
Adam and
everyone-
Eve. You know
Yeah.
what they could have told that they were the first people? They wouldn't have had belly buttons because they were never born. They wouldn't have had belly buttons because they were never born.
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
Also, Noah never had to rescue any of the aquatic animals. That's how it worked. People falsely say
Right, yeah.
the aquatic animals were already taken care of.
Well, yeah, they
and
were in
some
the
of the
water,
dinosaurs were probably babies.
Well, but they were around then, you think? That's crazy. But, okay, well, we really should rehearse it because I think everybody's, a lot of... if you don't want to go into the cold, we don't want to go to overtime. So
I've heard. It's good that you mentioned that because I believe.
I'm not mentioning. To
I
be
believe
clear,
that
I'm
the
only
antediluvian.
the only thing I'm saying is that we need to shoot. That's
I agree with you on this.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it's time to.
The world of the old world before Noah.
Yeah.
that was God's rehearsal, and then he decided.
Well, what a great
this is take
segue!
two.
Unbelievable! What a great segue to. We should probably.
And yet we are a rehearsal for the 1,000-year reign of Christ,
and for the Person of Interest episode guest starring Ben Savage. Which is exciting to have.
You know
him.
what's person of interesting? I'll tell you what's person of interesting.
I don't even know.
Matthew.
He's
a tax collector.
Right.
He was a tax collector.
Yeah. Can we?
And the Lord redeemed him. Lord redeemed him.
Why don't we walk? Let's walk while you talk a little bit more about him. I think that would be probably the
Walking
move.
on water is possible for birds. Why is it not possible for our Lord Jesus Christ?
I don't know. I mean, we could take a golf cart, no problem. I mean, we can easily do that. They're all charged up, so we could do that. We could do a bike. We could do a walk. I mean, I'd crawl at this point, to be quite honest with you. I really just, as far as getting you there soon, it's imperative. It's imperative. I mean, you're number one on the
No one knows the day or time. No one knows the hour.
Well, I mean, tell that to the AD.
The Lord comes like a thief in the night.
The AD would beg to differ.
The Lord will come as a thief. John of Patmos said this.
I know.
You realize
it's really.
you realize
like 10 pages.
the book of Revelation
today.
describes the eschaton.
I just think
there's references to helicopters.
Well, we don't have one of those.
There's references to helicopters and Henry Kissinger in the book of Revelation.
Well, I mean, he was old for sure. So that's. That is a wild development. I mean, I'll put you on I'll carry you on my back. I'll put you in a Bjorn. We really should, before we get into this any further.
Babylon, oh Babylon, the woman of 1,000 whores.
Yeah, exactly.
Written above her, riding atop a beast with 1,000 eyes, written above her.
Well,
Babylon the whore.
Yeah, well, we can.
You realize that's a reference to New York City.
Well, we are actually doing some exteriors for New York, but we really, in order to get those, we are going to have to wrap out of here on time today. We're trying to get out of here at 7:30 without quite. We have to be done by 7:30. That's the hard out. That is the hard out.
The hard out.
Yeah. But don't use it.
There will be an Antichrist.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you
there
what.
There will be an Antichrist. There will be a false prophet.
It feels anti-union to push any further. Honestly, I mean, you got the guy. We're Jim. We are lit. We're close. We're close. We're close. We are close. Yeah. No, but we are. We should. How about this? Let's do the lines. And we'll walk over there, and we can do any version that feels right for you.
He's hidden a red marker in his pocket, and he's like, "Oh, stigmata!"
Okay, all right, we're ready.
He always comes out with red vines in his hand. Oh,
continuity might have an issue.
Yes. Quote. This is the Cavortex. Quote, "It's just him soft talking about 3 inches from your face. Total stream of consciousness, but not a consciousness that was going in a linear fashion. A colleague would have to come pull me out all the time. I have never had a real conversation with him in years of working together."
I feel like we went through it.
Yes, that was exactly it.
I feel like we had it.
Are you familiar with the story of Balaam and the ass?
Were we talking? I just looked over here and you were looking at me.
That's right. What I heard you say that we were ready to go.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
we're ready to go.
Let's get you to your mark, and then
the picture of readiness in the Lord's word. Balaam, who was on a wayward path.
Oh,
we're behind schedule. Let's bail him out.
Is he from The Hobbit?
The Lord spoke to him through his donkey, through an ass.
No extras.
You're telling me if that's possible? You're telling me that's possible, but it's not possible for the animals to get on the
ark? Extras are not supposed to look at Jim Caviezel. We were very clear.
Take this energy and use it in this scene.
What? You're just supposed to be eating a sandwich in the background. Jim, come on, bud. Grab the hand. Let's get over there as soon as we can. We really don't have too much time today. We really don't.
I will touch your hand. I will touch your hand as a microcosm. The microcosm that Michelangelo said is a microcosm. It is the creation.
Jim, we are
in this moment, it is the creation.
Jim, we are 4 hours behind. Jim, we are 4 hours behind schedule.
This is the creation of the universe.
Jim, this can't keep happening.
You realize that the Bible itself is a mathematical code.
Jim, I listen. The script is a mathematical code. Each scene is broken down.
The Holy Spirit is your DNA.
Jim,
guys,
please.
Guys, we're 7 weeks into the show, and we have filmed half an episode.
And it's an amazing half,
I'll
Jim.
tell you a person of interest.
Don't say Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Jim, if you can believe this, Jim often forgot his lines. So they made an adjustment. Quote, "Every single scene, we gave him cards with just his lines, numbered, nobody else's lines, and he would just kind of cup them in his hand. And if you watch the show, you can see him look down constantly."
Wow. The Book of Brando.
Jim said that he had brain damage from a basketball game, from a motorcycle accident.
And having a crucifix fall on his head.
A crucifix fall on his head. Once Jim became furious that he did not get a card. And the crew said, "We don't want to insult your intelligence by printing up this small line." And Jim was like, "I want a card." So they wrote the line out. No.
Oh, my God.
Quote.
Quote.
A source, quote, "He's one of the stupidest people you will ever meet."
You're freaking me out, man.
He is not smart. I pray for him that he never winds up in a paper bag because he will be stuck and he will die. It was like working with a dog.
That's the only way he'll do sex scenes, though. He will die.
The writing staff is now writing shorter and shorter lines for him.
Wow.
Now, they have a dog on the show.
Who knows the lines better?
They have to organize the script into they put numbers after like 2 or 3 sentences to make it look like Bible verses.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, can you do him? Give him his next hymn.
And thus said the detective to his client. Oh, woe is thee.
So the dog on the show is named Boker.
His name Poker?
Boker.
Bogert?
Boker.
So it's not a name.
It's not a name. Jim was repeatedly told to not yank Boker's leash, but Jim kept yanking Boker's leash until Boker bit him.
You know,
in the middle of my hand.
I hear your crowd like that, and I remember the crowd in Jerusalem that said, that said over and over again, "Free Barabbas, free Barabbas, free Barabbas. We'll crucify our Lord. We'll crucify our Lord, but we'll free the thief Barabbas."
Jim,
and
we have to shoot.
I turn to you.
Jim.
I turn to you now, and I say, this day, before the day's over, you will be in heaven with my Father.
We
you
cannot,
will be forgiven.
Jim, we are 19.
Lord, forgive them. They know not what they do.
This episode airs Sunday, Jim. This episode airs this Sunday, Jim.
So, do you know how fucked up you have to be to a show business dog to get him to bite you? Like, they're the most trained dogs in the world. They have to now replace Boker.
Wow.
Because he can't be on set because he bit Jim.
I won't work with Jim. You're a dog. We won't do it.
They get a new dog, and they have to paint his chest white to match Boker. And Jim is now...
by the way, I feel like the show's no longer the hero. How close are we to spray painting Boker? Boker's passed out. We did it in the trailer again.
I've decided to paint the dog myself.
Jim.
I'm doing it in the same way that Pepe Le Pew would paint a cat.
Jim,
no.
That was a sexually assaulting skunk, Jim.
Well, it's going to have to be done one way or another.
Jim, you shouldn't even be having the paint, Jim.
So from then on, Jim was never allowed to
imagine that guy. That guy was like, Jesus Christ, I can't handle.
So he could never hold the leash again after that happened.
The whole time he's walking around there and he's like, I am Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm Jesus Christ in a suit.
This is what Jesus would...
Actor Jesus.
If he was in a suit, this is what Jesus...
Actor Jesus.
He turned down Dr. Manhattan, by the way, because he'd have to be blue and naked.
Yeah.
Another source said, from QAnon, said he had a childlike religious understanding and was not loving. Quote, he is not. He is filled with hatred of other. Jim was consumed by bizarre religious, military, and nationalistic fixations. He always said he was friends with and trained with the Navy SEALs.
That is such a trope.
I'm friends with the Navy SEAls. I practice with the Dodgers. I go to church. I go to church with some guys who are they're in the mafia. My dad knows a gangster.
G.I. Joe is based on me. I'm friends with a couple werewolves.
I met a transformer. I am a transformer. When lightning struck me, I became part robot. Were you there when my Prime was crucified?
Do you remember?
Were you there when Prime died? Were you there when Prime died?
3 days later.
And 3 days later, he rose and became the Lord of Cybertron.
More than meets the eye.
It becomes a running joke on set that he was always talking about Navy SEALs. He had an I support Navy SEAL sticker on every car he owned.
2.
That's the ones they sell you when you try to check out at the website with the I am a Navy SEAL sticker. And they're like, well, actually, we can't sell these to everyone.
Your card is still empty.
Here's there's a consolation sticker you're allowed to get.
Well, look, if I get pulled over by a Navy SEAL, they won't give me a ticket.
Do you have any idea how fast you were swimming back there, sir?
I found a Navy SEAL subreddit, and they were all upset that Jim wears this pin because you are not
and a fanny pack.
And a fanny pack.
In case someone wants to fuck. Oh my God, and he's with Carrie Lake. In case Carrie Lake wants to hump. But he's wearing what? He's wearing the little, Navy SEAL pin?
You only wear it if you're a Navy SEAL. You don't, it's offensive.
And he's in all Navy.
It's stolen valor. You don't wear it. And he's just like, well, I mean, I trained.
I'm near a lake. Wow.
He's like, I also do some great horn tricks.
Yeah. Jim also, quote, he was obsessed with guns. He always wanted to shoot people and kill people, which is not a thing. Reese's character would shoot people in the knee. He was not a go for the head, go for the chest guy, but Jim really wanted to kill people.
Well, also the writing of he's a knee guy. He's the knee cop.
But they became so concerned with how much he wanted to kill people that they stopped using blanks on set.
Now they use real bullets.
They started just doing gunshots in VFX after.
The sound department could hear him on the microphone when he would be like, I can't wait for this next take. They're going to see what Jesus Christ, his revenge.
Jesus.
This fuckface over here, he's going to get it. He doesn't even know it right now.
I'm pretty sure Jesus would shoot this guy right in the fucking face.
You know,
this guy
you realize that Jesus would have been against gun control, and he was, because he was timeless, of course. You know this.
And, well, I mean,
and Jesus told Peter the night he was betrayed in Gethsemane. Jesus said, actually, he said that if you're a fool, if you give up your knife, you should carry a sword. Any man should carry a sword.
Well, maybe you should carry a sword. I mean, maybe that might be better for the character.
He was talking about guns. He was talking about guns when he said that.
Well, regardless, I think the idea that maybe a sword or a knife or something like that might be a better thing for the character, because it feels
You're second-guessing Jesus?
I just want to shoot. I just want to film.
I want to shoot too.
No, not shoot.
No.
Film.
Why are you stepping away from the truth of the Lord?
But because I feel like sometimes I'll say things and it just gets us further behind schedule because it sets you off a little bit. So
I tell you a story about Jonah.
Do not tell me that story. You've told me the story about Jonah.
He was a reluctant prophet.
I know he was.
He did not want to be prophet.
I know he was.
Rested under the tree.
I know.
He rested under the tree.
But we have to
and
shoot
God
Jim.
swallowed him in a whale.
Jim, this episode is already on.
You now.
Jim, this episode is on TV right now. Jim!
Jim would never swallow another dude.
Not unless I had a bag in my throat.
He might want to, but Jim also always wanted to torture. A source, quote, he would be like, I have a great idea. You're going to love this, despite us not loving past 100 ideas. And he'd be like, what if I put a gun up his nose? The source said he didn't seem to understand he would be doing this to another actor, an actual person.
Cast Mel Gibson.
And that Jim didn't seem to see a difference between actors and props. This not connected to reality thing spread to everything. Once in Midtown Manhattan, Jim was supposed to pull up in a car. He, quote, blew a red light and nearly hit 4 or 5 pedestrians who were not with the production.
Well, I like that if they were with the production, that's okay. They have a day rate. They're under 5s. Hit them, Jim. Go. Gas it.
Because he's like, no, that's what my character would have done. I would come in hot.
Wow.
And I was like, this is 100% illegal and completely dangerous. For the last 2.5 years of the show, Jim was banned from driving.
So he can't hold a dog. He can't drive.
I'm blacklisted.
No guns.
I'm blacklisted. They won't let me drive. They won't let me to hold dogs. They wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me die for 3 days. You know that was the studio that prevented me from dying for 3 days and then rising.
It's the schedule, Jim. It's the whole. It's
I demanded. I stayed in that cave for 3 weeks.
I know. We know. And it was your trailer. It wasn't a cave. It was your trailer.
Well, I put a large rock in front of it.
I'm aware of that. Yes, but that was in your. Obviously, we're not okay with that.
Yeah.
But you're back, and we're ready to shoot.
He told the showrunner.
Manhattan, you realize, is the Rome of today.
No, I don't. And I can't express enough how much we cannot do that again, Jim. It's not. It's just Manhattan. And by the way, getting permits here is ridiculous. I mean, we shut down a block. I don't know if you know what I don't know what it cost to shut down a block in Rome back then, but it has to be way cheaper than now. I mean, we're over budget. We cannot shut it down again.
I've seen this energy before in Pontius Pilate when he washed his hands.
Don't give me the Pontius shit again,
He washed his hands when he killed me.
Jim, nobody killed you, Jim. Jim, nobody killed you.
I was killed, and I rose again from the grave. And I did it to save the souls and to put some guns in some noses.
We said you don't have to be at the table reads. We keep bending. We're bending.
I think the table read should be done on one long table.
No, we're not doing Last Supper reads. Jim.
I want six people on one side and six people on another side.
Jim, we already tried that, Jim. We tried that.
And that's what got us that third season.
No, I don't think it did. I don't know why. I wish we hadn't gotten a third season, Jim.
Ye of little faith.
God, no.
Jim told the showrunner he was technically Jesus.
I don't think that's something he told. That had to have been yelled. Go tell me I can't drive a car? I'm technically Jesus.
And of course, like Jesus Christ, he was absolutely frightening with weapons. Quote, similarly to blanks, if you had any sort of long arm in his hands or a large piece of metal during a fight, we would put a balaclava on him so we could double him because we didn't trust him to have this chunk of metal in his hands and do a fight.
Wow.
He's literally a crazy person on set. They're terrified that he's going to kill someone on set.
This fucking, we got to get this guy on the show at some point.
This isn't even...
I mean, that guy, they were like, are we ready to shoot? He's like, don't say it like that. Please hurry.
The last 2 seasons.
How many seasons they do?
They did 5.
Wow.
The last 2 seasons, in any fight, his character was played by a stuntman in a balaclava. Never saw his face in any fight because they never had him in a fight.
May as well just done that for everything. Just been like, that's what the character is. I'm going to wear this forever.
I think I finally, now in my later years, have found the perfect thing to avoid kissing in any movie.
Yeah. A bag over my head.
During a standard interview scene with Clark Peters, who's Lester from The Wire, Jim, instead of just interviewing him, put Peters in a headlock and dragged him across the room. Another time he choked an actor, he slammed another's head into a mantel, and he punched another one in the face. A source, quote, it was just over and over again. It's like having a puppy. No, you can't chew on that. No, you can't chew on that. Except the puppy talks about Hitler in a not completely unfavorable light.
Well, let me tell you something. There's been a falsification in the mainstream TV that Hitler was somehow an atheist. And I think that's one of the worst things you could say about that man.
Jim.
There was an alliance.
Jim. Wow, come on. You found Hitler, dog?
The Vatican.
Hitler.
You know, I found the perfect solution. I'm never going to be naked unless it's a Holocaust.
Don't say that anymore.
And Mel taught me it didn't happen, so I never have to be naked.
Oh, my God, Jim. No. So I'll never do a nude scene. That's exactly right, Jim. That's right.
Jim did not have a problem ranting religious garbage on set. Anti-abortion, anti-LGBTQ. About 50% of the writers...
What are these letters? What are these pronouns?
I won't say pronouns.
The only pronouns I see in the Word of God is thee and thou.
And it just is so awkward to put that in the script. We tried. Remember we tried? It didn't work.
Thy?
It sounds like thigh. It's weird.
Are you a thigh man? Are you a thigh man?
Call me Thigh. About 50% of the writers were LGBTQ, but Jim never knew. Once he refused to do a scene because Reese was going to save a gay couple who were in danger. But Jim said they were sinners and should be allowed to die.
I mean,
that's what my character would do. Yeah. My character skipped a lot of ethics classes.
That is fucking crazy, obviously, for him. But the writers had to be like, this is not going to go great. Like, we're like, you know what I mean? Well,
the writers, you know how they're usually like trying to teach America a lesson.
Yeah.
They were actually just at this point trying to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, right.
There's a gay couple that your character saves.
Bullshit.
Now, by save, do you mean kill and then they go to hell?
You mean
Save their
stone
souls.
them?
They go to they go. You kill them. They go to purgatory. Then they go to heaven in separate rooms.
Oh my God! Look at that Hitler dog.
Separate rooms. All right, and you'll go left and you'll go right, obviously. Welcome. No hanky-panky, boys.
So the showrunners talked to Jim, and they told him during 9/11, firefighters did not stop to ask people's sexual orientation before they saved them.
Should have.
And Jim then agreed to do the scene. And later on set...
All right, so I get it. He's moving fast. He doesn't know that they're gay. Okay.
Well, sort of. It's not going to come up, but if it were to come up, he would still do it. You know what I mean? It's an emergency, so...
So when does he find out that they're gay and then put him back in the danger zone?
Well, look, Jim, quite frankly, he probably knows that they're gay before he saves them.
Why would he? That's nonsensical. Why would he save them then?
Because they're in danger, Jim.
The only way I could agree to it is if he doesn't know that they're gay. That's why.
Nobody knows that. Look,
can they look like their cousins or something?
No, he's not thinking about it. If it's a passing thought, he's going, maybe they're together. What? I help them. That's the thought.
Maybe they're these kinds of effeminate people who are called to serve the Lord through music or something.
Now, for fuck's sake, fine. Christ. No.
Later on set, Jim said very loudly, even if a person was trans, he'd save them like the 9/11 firemen.
So they tried to impart a simple lesson to him, like, you see? And he was like, yeah, I do see. And then later he's like, even if people were trans, on 9/11 you should save them. And everyone's like, Jesus fucking Christ, shut the fuck up. He overlearned? I don't know. I'm furious.
It's the one day a year. It's acceptable.
9/11. It's like the opposite of the purge.
You save everybody on 9/11.
You save everyone like Noah, but with gays if you need to.
2 of each kind, even if it's the same kind.
2 of each kind, even if they're dating.
From then on, they filmed any scenes with gay people when Jim was not on the set. Jim was also very fixated on IDing Jewish people.
Holy fuck.
It's fine.
You got some credentials there?
Perhaps we could put something on their shirt.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just pitching.
All 3 QAnon Anonymous podcast sources said Jim often brought up Hitler. Quote, he would talk about how Hitler was very organized and regimented and intelligent, and he had, like, a really smart plan. And Jim did Hitler impressions with his finger as a mustache. Quote, I also had more than one cast member because he would frequently do a Hitler impression in the hair and makeup trailer.
Oh, my God.
Who came to me very uncomfortable. Like, what is this? It's not funny. What's happening here? So that was a constant issue.
It's not strike person of interest.
You just got to finish the makeup, Jim. So if you could get your finger down.
Could you imagine? You're just getting your hair done, and he's over there. Like, just
very funny. Can you shut up?
Fuck yes.
You know, I appreciate that you're listening to Madonna here with some of the other actors, just getting the morning started with coffee and everything. But I'm wondering if we could turn it down and listen to the Volkstorm.
Gonna get everyone in the mood.
I have some Hitler on my Spotify.
It's actually all Hitler.
Okay, so
Mine playlist. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Mein Bandkampf.
Mine Bandkampf.
Now, this is going to surprise you, but Jim was not great with people of color.
Oh. There was an actual person right now who's like, what? That doesn't track.
Well,
Jim Caviezel?
Often when he met a not white stranger.
Well, they're not in the Bible, you see.
Jim.
When he met a not white stranger, Jim would speak in a fake version of their language with real words mixed in.
What is, I want to know what that means, but also don't want to hear you do it.
I know what it is in my head. I'm also not going to do it. Most of these people who did it to were native-born Americans. They're just
Right.
American people.
Americans.
He even allegedly spoke fabricated German to a white guy in the writer's room who he'd never met. He started speaking gibberish Mandarin to a Chinese-American woman who spoke fluent Mandarin and then argued with her when she said he wasn't speaking Mandarin.
Well, no impressions shall follow.
You know, this was the great evil that was put forth by Satan on earth in the form of Mao Zedong.
Once,
Jim, we
once,
have to shoot.
You know what Sun Yat-sen means?
Jim, people are quitting. It's
All men have Sun Yat-sen and fall short of the glory of God.
Well, we are falling short of CBS's schedule.
It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m.
I know that the communists who run the network would like us to take
No, they're not, Jim. They're not communists.
2 steps forward and 1 step backward.
Well, Jim, you're still going 1 step forward. If we can just shoot.
Are we going by the gospel, the good book? Or are we going by the little red book?
The schedule. We're going by the binder. There's a schedule.
I'll tell you, there's a schedule. No one knows it except the man upstairs.
Well, that's Les Moonves, and he is furious.
You know what? The man who had the schedule was a man from Austria.
No, Jim, no, Jim, no.
He was blacklisted.
Jim, no.
When they canceled him,
he was crucified.
Jim.
I can't believe you just said that.
We're on season 4, but we're on script 6.
It's season 4, but it feels like 20.
You know, I'm having a bunker built underneath my house.
That's fine, and that is fine.
It's in the shape of a cross. There's a tube and there's a cross tube.
Jim.
Once an Asian American studio exec came to set, and Jim walked up to him, pressed his hands together, bowed, and said, "Ah, so."
I mean, that's the classic. That's the You never seen the Charlie Chan mysteries. You never saw the Fantastic Peter Sellers.
That stuff ages.
Jim later told the crew it was fine because he adopted Chinese children.
Whoa. Wow.
He did. He adopted 3 Chinese kids.
Wow.
2 had brain tumors, benign, when he adopted them. But I'm sure they wish they still had the brain tumors. He spoke with a black accent when he met black people.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, what's happening, man? What's wrong with that?
I'm Jim Caviezel.
A source said he refused to have a romance with a black character, and in a production meeting, he said, quote, "People shouldn't have interracial relationships."
Oh, my fucking God.
It's like
he's on a CBS show.
He's on a CBS. This is a human resources issue.
It is my
off
job.
The fucking charts.
It is my job to say the things that Jesus could not because he was cut short by Jews.
Jim, holy shit. Look, we said you could keep your shirt and jeans
The
on.
Lord has sent his son back for an additional 33 years.
Just let her kiss your little neck a little.
I am supposed to live 33 years past my 33rd year.
No,
and in
Jim,
that time,
for fuck's sake, Jim.
I will have my wife kill herself, and I will kill myself.
Oh, for fuck's
to
sake,
avoid
Jim.
having my body
Jim,
displayed
do
in
it
public.
now, Jim. Do it now. It'd be easier to shoot if you were dead.
Can you say the fucking lines?
No!
They're on the card!
No!
So the romance with the character, the black woman, this actress they bring on the show to have a romance with Jim doesn't happen.
Wow.
And then her character then is just standing around doing nothing.
I mean, what, you want me to be some kind of like Captain Kirk? That didn't work.
Yes, it did work, Jim. It was an important important moment on TV.
America saw that Star Trek was over.
No, it wasn't. It kept going. It was a huge moment.
Captain Kirk had an interracial romance with a couple of aliens and a couple of different races and stuff. And everybody said, boo Star Trek. We all know that.
No, Jim, it kept going. They made 9 movies, Jim. They keep making movies.
And yet I can't. You realize there's supposed to be a Passion of the Christ for each of the 4 Gospels. We only got to do the Matthew one.
You wouldn't survive another.
Why aren't we allowed to do Luke?
Jim.
Mark.
Don't say another goddamn name.
John of Patmos.
For fuck's sake, Jim. This is an hour procedural Sunday nights.
One time they were...
I never realized it aired on Sundays. I object to that.
Jim.
Jim, no.
My wife laughed.
Jim, no. They were filming on location in D.C. when Jim wandered off set.
It might be good.
And he joined...
I want to find Thomas Jefferson and say hello.
Go.
And he joined a group who were protesting Islamic immigration and were planning to burn a Quran.
Oh. Hey, cool lunch break. I'm Jim Caviezel.
Rachel Kursites of DCist covered it. There were a lot of counter-protesters there, too, and Jim said to them, quote, "You are all wrong. I know Islam is evil. All Islamic men want Sharia." He told the woman, he just went up to a woman and said she should watch the stoning of Soraya M. to learn about Sharia. Sharia. That movie, of course, stars Jim, so he told me.
You want to learn about what you're talking about? Watch my movie.
And then he spoke gibberish to her in Farsi, which she didn't speak.
I'll tell you something that'll open your eyes about the evils of Islam. There's a movie called Not Without My Daughter. I'm going to see what it's really like. It's bad. It's bad. They have their own countries, and they hate the American flag.
Jim, there's also a movie called Frequency where you talk to your father through a fucking radio about a murder.
Yeah, I am radio.
Your movies are dumb, Jim.
You know where they don't have radios? The Middle East.
They have radios in the Middle East, Jim.
They don't use radios in the Middle East.
Yes, they do, Jim.
They certainly do not.
No, they do, Jim.
Oh, you think you can get an FM? Turn the dial to the right. The lower stations are on the right end of the dial, and the higher stations are on the left end of the dial. That's how wrong it is.
That doesn't even matter, Jim. They still have radios. You said they didn't even have them.
I've never encountered any radios from the Middle East.
Well, you've never met anyone from the Middle East from what it looks like. You just went up to that woman and spoke gibberish Farsi.
Jesus didn't like some people. Let me tell you about
you, that. Jim, you!
Jim's lawyer claimed all that stuff was. He said that was all a fabrication. It never happened.
Every time his phone rings, he's like, "No, hello."
Showrunner Jonah Nolan was said to be exhausted. Jonah Nolan.
Jonah?
Yeah.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. I've got a lot of alt Twitter accounts that I have, and I call myself a noticer. I notice certain types of people that are have their careers elevated and so forth. I'm blacklisted, and I pass the time by having like fake accounts on websites, which is a normal thing to do.
So Nolan was exhausted after 5 years, and the show ended in 2016.
Holy shit! What a run, though. I mean, the show is making the show.
Yeah. In 2020, Jim starred in a movie called Infidel, produced by Dinesh D'Souza Media.
Oh my God! Oh, what a great! One of my favorite producers.
Yeah. The Baltimore Catholic Review said
It goes like this: God, country, Dinesh D'Souza.
Wow, that's a crazy third, Jim. Dinesh D'Souza.
The Baltimore Catholic Review said it was wildly Islamophobic. Muslims had peaky noses, they scowl constantly, and want to harm those who disrespected them. The next year, Jim spoke at a QAnon conference over Zoom, where he then promoted the adrenochrome conspiracy theory.
Wow.
At another conference, he gave Mel Gibson's battle speech from Braveheart.
I am also Mel Gibson.
Is that even possible? He's still alive, I think.
I'm Jesus Christ. I'm Mel Gibson.
And you're William Wallace
and
in Braveheart?
Yeah, and I'm Dickie. I'm Dickie from My Talented Mr. Ripley, of course.
Wow.
And I found something that allows me to look at a Muslim person. Because I consider it offensive to my religious beliefs to do a scene with a Muslim person unless I'm blindfolded.
If they're blindfolded, there's no eye contact.
There's no eye contact. I'm not participating in Sharia law.
It's a lot like the sex scene with Jennifer Lopez when I put a potato bag over my cock.
A balaclava, long underwear, a full blindfold, a fanny pack. I think we're ready for a fun weekend.
Yeah, hey. Tell you what, anything can happen now. Pretty much.
20th Century Fox made the movie The Sound of Freedom in 2018.
A winner.
But it was not released. No one wanted it.
Blacklisted.
Blacklist. And then came Angel Studios. The owners had previously cut cursing and sex from movies, but were sued and had to stop. And they then formed Angel Studios. And
so they were finding mainstream movies, removing the sex scenes, and then re-releasing
and then
them.
selling them to Mormons and whatnot.
They were like, yeah, right.
You guys want to watch Top Gun? It's about 25 minutes.
You ever heard of Wild Things? It's an 8-minute movie. How about Showgirls? It's a credit sequence.
They formed Angel Studios in 2023. They offered to distribute The Sound of Freedom. The Sound of Freedom is based on Tim Ballard, who claims to save trafficked children. His group is named Operation Underground Railroad. Totally normal name. Totally normal name.
It's an homage.
You're not
nothing wrong with that
terrible
image.
Person. Nope.
It's cool
Also,
that
you want your operation to not only be decipherable very quickly by both friendly and enemy sides, but you want it to have a little bit of bitterness to it. Operation I'm the good guy.
Now, Ballard is a big right-wing celebrity. People close to Operation Underground Railroad say it's not effective or credible. Ballard goes into foreign towns with armed men and does photo ops with random children. And then he says he saved them to all his religious people. He wants to credit for saving a girl who had actually escaped herself. The state of Utah is investigating OUR, and a Utah DA has warned that they are grifting.
Fucking,
of course,
if Utah is like, nah, nope, we don't like it. What are you doing?
So, of course, Jim played Ballard.
Wow, yeah.
Jim said he spent time in the operation and was going to go on a mission, but at the last minute it became too risky. Quote, my wife was scared for me.
Uh-huh.
Now, they're going to film the movie in Colombia, and Carrie is worried about that.
Right.
So, just for
she's
her,
a basketball player. She could tell when something's about to be a real tough basket.
That's well put.
Thank you. Thank you. Dunk.
Not sure I fully follow, but I suppose I don't want to keep digging, Jim, because I feel like
my wife and I are basketball players.
Yeah, no.
When we play, it's nothing but net. And when we have sex with each other, it's just we have basketball nets.
She has a net inside of her, Jim?
Well, yeah, because I can do it myself as a loving husband. The procedure is very easy.
I'm sorry, this is a surgical thing?
No, it's not surgical. That's why I allow it.
Jim, I can't. I
wear basketball shoes over my private areas
Jim,
myself.
stop talking. That can't even. Jim, please. That can't.
To make Carrie feel better about filming in Colombia, they had 30 Navy SEALs come to protect them during filming. So
they are,
okay.
yeah. So a bunch of Caviezel's come to protect them.
Yeah, a bunch of Caviezel's.
I'm not a Navy SEAL, everybody says, but I can get 30 of them to show up like that.
Yep. Where are their fanny packs that hang over their balls?
But one day she called Jim and said he said there's only 2 Navy SEALs on set because, quote, the other 28 saved 200 children
Oh,
that
my
day.
God.
And you know what happens when a Navy SEAL saves a kid? It's like when a bee stings somebody, and that's it. They get one save. They get one save, and then they're out.
That's it.
They're out of the Navy
then
SEALs.
They die, yeah.
Yep.
They turn in their pin, and then they did it. They're like, I saved a kid, and they're out. No more.
Yep.
200.
And later they would all credit Carrie with saving the children because she is why the Navy SEAls were there in the first
To
place.
protect Jim because of this shoot.
The film came out last year. It made a ton of money.
Yeah. I watched it. Wait, what was that? What happened?
It jumped ahead. That wasn't supposed to be there.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Not only I see it, I know it's true. That's why he's hiding it. He's hiding it from the crowd here.
I didn't see it.
He's hiding it
Don't
just
worry
like the
about it.
mainstream
What
media.
is it?
It's fun.
Yeah, right. He's hiding. Yeah, like the mainstream media. Show us.
You'll
The
get-
dollop
we'll
is
get to it.
the dollop is controlled. The dollop. First of all, it's a reference to a quantum of cum.
It is. Talk about it. That's the origin story. It was a measurement of semen. Yes, sir?
So
Is your dad alive?
The Sound of Music is what Q is about. Sound of Music.
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
The hills are alive with the sound of freedom.
But
I would love to just get to do it. I would love to do that. It's just in Hitler costume.
Julie Andrews.
But Q is way worse than The Sound of Freedom. Q is old school Protocols of the Elders of Zion based Jew hatred. Like
Good
it's
stuff.
just classic.
Good stuff.
Classic. Baby eating stuff. Like it's classic.
Right.
Classic
Good
anti-Semitism.
stuff. Suppressed truth.
The main conspiracy theory of Q is that deep state, Satan-worshipping pedophilic liberals are behind an international child sex trafficking ring, and that they harvest adrenochrome from kids and take it as a fountain of youth, potion, and drug.
And eat pizza.
They believe the elites scare the children to produce the adrenochrome.
That's how it works.
For instance, they believe there's a dark web video of Hillary Clinton and her assistant, Uma, ripping off a child's face, using it as a mask to scare adrenochrome out of the child, and then drinking the child's blood.
But to be clear, when you rip a child's face off, they're not scared enough. You'd think that that would scare a child enough to produce the adrenochrome, and maybe it would. But as an extra measure of safety, put the child's face on, and you're guaranteed to get a little bit of adrenochrome.
You know what else you can do to you can go boo. The internet is filled with pictures of Democrats and
Then it must really poke a hole in that Biden's the nominee. To be like, they're full of adrenochrome to make them young, and then Joe Biden's like, 4 more years, pause.
So Jim, while he's doing PR for the film, he keeps bringing up adrenochrome.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit, this is the trailer.
Isn't it strange that you don't have that clip? Interesting, isn't it?
the preview that was approved by big tech companies. That's what they would play on their platforms.
So
the
you're planning on
preview.
showing a clip where Jim Caviezel talks about adrenochrome. You don't have it either because of divine intervention or it doesn't exist.
Hold on.
Watch the ASL interpreters. They'll tell you what's fucking real.
I'll pull it up right now.
PowerPoint, Masonic signaling, PowerPoint.
Look at you, frazzled.
Adrenaline in your body. I'll just simplify it. And when you are scared, you produce adrenaline. If you're an athlete, you get in the fourth quarter, you have adrenaline that comes out of you. If a child knows he's going to die, his body will secrete this adrenaline. And they have a lot of terms that they use.
Well, if you could just get it from an athlete, why? If you can get it from an
has anyone seen Steph Curry?
If you can get it from an athlete, why are you killing? Why are you killing the kids?
Well, their argument is going to be it's easy to just take a kid, right? You're not going to be able to go get Jimmy Butler whenever you want.
I think they're saying it's the good shit.
It is the best.
It's the top notch,
top shelf adrenochrome.
I want to make sure I want to reestablish my authority to speak on this topic here. You're believing this because it's on a website and I'm dressed very nicely and I'm in my screening room with some empty chairs.
He's talking to a QAnon conference.
I know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the people.
You're talking to him right now, asshole.
And you're talking to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Jim Caviezel.
The chain of authority here. You're listening to me because you know that I am a person of interest. I am the Lord Jesus Christ. I am Der Fuhrer. And
no, that's not.
Look, Jim's diversified a little bit, and we're excited to unleash the new Jim. He's doing a bunch of
my
new
authority stems from the fact that the God told me to be an actor.
Mm-hmm. When I was 14 and 19.
And I was in a movie called My Private Idaho.
Yeah, where there were gays, but he played an Italian guy.
But it was 9/11. It was 9/11, so I decided it was okay to sell them tickets.
The plane that those two gay men got on hit Tower 2.
That's true, and that's where my authority is based. That's the basis of my.
That's where he's coming from. Okay, do you understand a little bit? Anyway, we'd love to do the episode of Big Bang Theory. Jim's excited to be a part of it. You know, as long as we agree it wasn't really a Big Bang, it was just something God created.
Yeah, if we.
So the song has to change.
We'd like to have our answer to the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, we're just looking for an alternative intro song.
It's a room of Christian nerds, and
it's Christian nerds, and the intro song will go like, "The whole universe was created by God," and then it starts.
It's the worst horror I've ever seen. Is Screaming Alone, even if I never ever saw it. It's just beyond, and these people that do it, there'll be no mercy for them.
They're clapping.
This is one of the best films I've ever done in my life. The film is
and I was
on the
at
level
Frequency.
To be clear, I'm releasing
Academy
this film
Award.
to try to inspire people to lynch people. And I just said it here in an interview. Reason we released this film about horrors that I've never seen. The worst horrors that I've never seen with my own two eyes with the blindfold on. And what I'm hoping is that this movie inspires people to kill people that are celebrities.
Yeah.
What Jim's asking is, if a tree falls in the wood and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Shoot it, torture it, gun up its nose.
Hold on, Jim. He jumps in as fast as he wants, which I love about him.
Oh, you make fun of the tree language. Oh, I fall down.
No,
Fall down.
Jim.
Made of wood, big tree.
All right, hold on, buddy.
Is this a character?
No, Jim's being himself, for sure. You can tell he's got the Navy SEAL pin on. That's Jim. But if a child has adrenochrome stolen from them and Jim's not around to see it, but he saw a video on 4chan about it, did it happen?
You know one thing we discovered in the making of this movie, there was a reason that Disney really tried to make sure the movie didn't come out, is because they use adrenochrome to power some of their animatronics in their parks.
Oh yeah, Minnie's fully adrenochrome.
The Country Bear Jamboree.
100%. I mean, what do you think? Those are natural?
There's 12 children, 12 scared, dying children have to go into every one of the Country Bears the moose head on the wall that starts talking and singing. They have to get
We're definitely we're getting off the rails a little, but what he's saying is true. The moose head is clearly full of child adrenochrome.
And what they do is they sacrifice the children from each show, and then subsequently that powers the animatronics for the next show.
It's a system. It's the circle of adrenochrome.
There's a reason. There's a reason that the Hall of Presidents only has elected presidents in it.
Think about it, asshole. Sit there with your dumbass look on your face. Everything he just said makes sense.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
I can't believe it keeps going.
I think that what we've got to do is we've got to capture Tinkerbell and waterboard her and get the truth out of her, because she's seen everything and she can make it stop if she dabs it.
Essentially, you have adrenaline in your body. I'll just simplify it.
Yeah, simplify it, Jim.
When you are scared, you produce adrenaline. If you're an athlete, you get in the fourth quarter, you have adrenaline that comes
Probably
out.
in the first quarter, too, honestly.
If a child knows he's going to die, his body will secrete this adrenaline, and they have a lot of terms that they use.
I won't give you those terms now.
But,
these are technical terms.
It's the worst horror I've ever seen, is screaming alone, even if I never, ever saw it. It's beyond, and these people that do it, there'll be no mercy for them. This is one of the best films I've ever done in my life. The film is on a level of Academy Award level. Whether it ever gets seen in this industry, it's really up to your prayers and your word of mouth.
So
I actually have one of the movie theaters behind me as I'm filming that, and all the scenes.
It's sold out.
The seats are. What the New World Order is doing is that they're buying tickets and then they're not showing up.
Yeah, it's Marcus Cinema.
So there is no. There's no. Here's the crazy thing. There's no adrenochrome in the film. He goes and does all this publicity, and it's not part of the film. It's just like child trafficking. You know, the fun part. But there's no, and so all these Q people are upset by that. So Jim is
well. There's a Savior's cut that's coming out.
Actually, doesn't.
There's a Messiah's cut of the film that's going to come out.
There's other things that aren't in it that upset them. There's no deep underground military bases. Hillary Clinton's not the leader of an adrenochrome.
That's going to be the sequel. That's going to be in the sequel. That's going to be the TV spin-off series.
But it is a fucking massive success.
Huge.
Makes shitloads of money.
It was on Amazon, I think. I'm serious.
What, they put it on Amazon?
Yes. It was on one of them. Yeah, it was on like a huge streamer where I was like, that's crazy.
It like knocked like Indiana Jones out of the top spot.
Well, to be fair. He could have used a little adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome. I was in Temple of Doom. The guy would pull a heart out, and he would pull the heart out.
Kalima! That was adrenochrome.
That was adrenochrome
right there.
But what happened was rich people bought a ton of tickets, and then they would give you tickets for free. Like I went and saw it to be on the Q Anonymous podcast, and
in the theater?
Yeah, and I didn't pay. I just went and got a free ticket, which is so they would like buy out whole theaters, and there'd be like 2 people in it. 2 months after the film's release, Tim Ballard resigns from OUR because he's being investigated.
Ugh.
At least 7 women allege that they pretended to be his wives to go on these missions to save kids. And the women say this was part of a grooming process.
Ugh.
And he was...
First they came for the groomers.
So 5 women have sued him for sexual assault and battery. A criminal investigation is also underway. The Mormon Church, who was long in his Ballard's corner, now called his behavior, quote, morally unacceptable.
It's, again, amazing when that church is like, we're actually disassociating.
Yeah. If you can believe
You're
this.
a little crazy, to be honest. Anyway, let's read plates.
OUR's former director of security, Matt Cooper, is also accused, and that their missions weren't actually to save children, but they were engaged in the lifestyle of wealthy sex tourists. Ballard calls it a shakedown and says he might run for the Senate.
Yep, well, it'll probably get really close.
Now, obviously, Jim expected the movie to literally change the world and for everyone to realize what was happening with adrenochrome and all this other stuff. And then Ballard instead is out and he's being investigated, and Jim is not handling this well. He recently claimed the CIA was a huge, big part of child trafficking. Well, let's just say he's had a rough year.
You watch it, you feel God's love and the power in this movie, Sound of Freedom, and it makes you unafraid. I was willing to come forward and speak truthfully on things like adrenochrome, organ harvesting, and was severely reprimanded by much of the media. And they claimed their fact checkers knew more, but they don't know like you guys know. I put you up against them anytime.
I just saw this from Wall Street Silver, and it's got 4.7 million views. So let's just start there. It says his days are numbered, referencing me. They will make it look like an accident. He is likely correct. The CIA does this, and it is used for blackmailing their assets in high places to keep them in line. Hollywood actor Jim Caviezel says CIA operates world's biggest pedophile ring. Well, let me explain something to all of you in the world that think that I'm a little girl and I'm afraid of you. I'm not scared in the least bit. God brought me into Hollywood to become an actor. He asked me to do that. He was my intel officer, the greatest God, the only God. I love General Flynn and how he gave his life. And guys like that inspire me. Warriors that I work with, SEAL teams that I work with. Not the media. Yes, there's good media, like Lara Logan, people that are giving their lives. They actually go down there, not your stupid fact checkers. And by the way, do you have to go to fact checking school? Where is that, like a doctorate degree, a master's degree? I'm asking Christians, public forget about Christians, wake up. Stop fearing the devil more than you fear God. Stop being afraid. Unlike you, I know I'm going to die someday.
Why would you continue to listen to a media that's lying to you every day? You know, a couple years ago, I'm talking about adrenochrome. You can't say that word. You cannot say anything bad on George Soros. Do you know that he owns many of these companies like the Daily Beast? Boy, they sure had their fun tearing me apart. I lost my agents, 17 years, and my other agent of 15 years, because they listened to them, and there's a big storm coming, and they know it. So they have to go and threaten you with everything from Q, Anon, or whatever they want to say. Do you know what Q really means? It means question. That's what one of these people told me. And I said, well, that seems like a good thing. Anon, question, right? Anons then go out and research it to see if it's true. Because we've been fed their lies. Think about Monday. What happened? A Durham report was dropped. The FBI, the CIA, all of these guys are involved. Now, I know it's not all of them. The lower guys are probably just crying. But I'm asking you, warriors, to come out and tell the truth.
So,
Dave.
So he's not doing well.
The sound of disappointment. Obviously, the best part is where he thinks question.
Q. Quanon.
Obviously, it's question on. It's question on. QAnon is short for question on. Because you keep asking it, it's question on.
He's like, you in those 3 clips, you see him being like, yeah, okay.
You can't even say adrenochrome.
And then he's getting angry, and now he's just resigned to like, oh my God, it's all over.
How great would it be to devote like a prank show to trying to sell Jim Caviezel adrenochrome when he's at like Baja Fresh? Just like punked, but with adrenochrome with Jim Caviezel. Just when he's sitting like, you need chrome? You need chrome?
You looking for adrenochrome? I just scared the shit out of this kid when I wore his face in a truck. This is pure. Jim, drink this. Put it on your burrito. You look so young.
So that's where Jim Caviezel is today. I'm sure we'll do another episode on him because this is going to go fucking nuts.
I just want to make sure everybody understands that I am a man of God that has very, very negative, scary music playing underneath me while I talk about the love of Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And I channel Jesus Christ. When I was struck by lightning, that's when he entered me. And I know it.
But Jim, you would agree that it's become a bit of a strange career, right? If God wanted this all for you, it really is shaken out strange.
It was a strange career from the first time that I was plastered on the side of a
when
building.
You did the Gap building.
I knew that was a prophecy. That was as good as another book of the Bible.
I mean, but now you're on like YouTube shows.
Jesus was. They didn't have buildings.
Jim, now you're on like
in
YouTube
the Roman times. They didn't have buildings.
Don't do that, Jim.
Now Jesus came back again.
Jim.
And when the lightning struck me, it was, I know from my father's chiropractic work, that's where the Holy Spirit entered my spine,
but Jim,
and I became
we talked
the
to
Christ.
Some people on the set of Passion of the Christ, and they said you were just trying to see if
I turned down the X-Men because there was a higher calling. Not a mutant, but a God. I am a God.
Wait.
And my name is Q.
Wait, you turned on X-Men for frequency.
You know. Well, they don't have radios in Islam, but
Stop it, Jim.
I know the frequency, and let me tell you something. My father in that movie was Dennis Quaid. My true father in heaven is Randy Quaid. Let me tell you that much. Stop being afraid of the devil.
Be afraid of God.
Be afraid of your God. Fear, death, sorrows, blood. Follow Jesus. Kill people.
Soros owns the Daily Beast.
That was pathetic.
Daily Beast, it's hiding in plain sight.
Beast.
Revelations.
Sources: QAnon Anonymous podcast with hosts Julian Feld, Travis View, and Jake Rakatansky.
Holy shit.
Priestsforlife.org.
Wow.
Scottish Daily Record and Sunday TVGuide.com.
Crazy sources, by the way.
North Carolina Register. That's a Polish one. We don't need to. Pluralism.org.
I actually agree with you on that. We don't need anything in the Polish stuff.
No, Jim.
He was organized. He didn't like those extra diacritical marks over some of the letters that they've got.
Rollcall.com. Majugery.ws. Crisis Magazine.
Shout out Majugery.
Crisis Magazine. I have it delivered, and they have there's a children's version that they also send out, and it's called Problems for Babies. Crisis Magazine. That's the first name I trust in crisis.
Christus.
Tecton Ministries, Fox News.
They're going to ban Tep Talk here.
Christian Post, Wall Street Journal, TV Line, Reddit, the Navy SEALs subreddit.
Don't forget the Wall Street Silver Bets Twitter guy, because
that was so fucking amazing.
People say that's my own Twitter account and that I cited myself. Among many other people, I have access to see the previews of what the posts will be. It's not a Twitter account that I run.
Vice.com, menshealth.com, IMDb.
How to get Jesus abs.
NBC News, theindependent.uk, Movies Radio Free, BustedHalo.com.
Holy shit.
The AV Club, the Huffington Post, CalCatholic.com, Daily Mail,
God Good,
Wired, Rolling Stone, Rumble, and Screen Rant, and the book Blue Dixie, Awakening the South's Democratic Majority by Bob Moser.
Holy fuck.
Legitimate sources.
I mean, it's all so crazy, but at the end there, it did strike me again like lightning during the filming of a movie about Jesus that he really does think God told him to become an actor.
Yes.
And if your calling in life is to be an actor, it's real sad. Already, to think that God would be like, just go. And you're going to do Persons of Interest for 5 seasons on CBS. My plan is wonky and bizarre. Enjoy the ride, Jimmy boy.
You know what I noticed there wasn't in any of your citations there? Wasn't in only the most popular book that's ever been written.
Don't say it.
The Stand by Stephen King?
Satanic book, of course. No, what I'm talking about, of course, the Bible, the Word of God. You familiar with the Word of God?
Sounds like he's got a lot of words, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it's like he never shuts up.
It's funny that you would sit on the stage and blaspheme knowing that it'll be held against you in the court of law that is the heavens.
Dave's dad's a lawyer. He's already up there drunk legislating. We'll be fine.
St. Peter is going to have guns pointed at you when you enter the pearly gates. He's going to blow your head off, friend.
He won't be able to hold the dog either. All right, very quickly. First of all, James, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And I don't think it's any coincidence. Jim Caviezel, James, it's pretty obvious there's a connection there. Truly, the fact that we have done this fucking show for 10 years is insane.
There were only 2 mental health hospitalizations.
Dave and I, when this show started, really had very little going on in our careers.
I was on Marin.
Shut up. And then we met up in Dave's...
I don't know. It was like kind of a pity hire at that point. I had him on the staff, and I was like, he didn't. I don't know. None of the final scripts were his.
Mark's here. And we met up in Dave's garage, and I didn't know what the fuck we were going to do. And then very quickly we started to do episodes of this, and very quickly we both were like, what the fuck is going on? And soon after we started touring, we started feeling the love, and we started feeling the connection. And I would be remiss if I did not say that both of us talk all the time about how much we value not only the support, but the connection to all the people who come to our shows, who listen to our shows, who maybe comment, who maybe don't. But it really has been one of those things that has changed everything. Not just careers, the way we view the world, the way we view people at balls. And we just thank everyone so much, everyone who joined the live stream, everyone who came out tonight, everyone who's ever come to a show, everyone who ever listens or tells anyone, everyone who threw a doll head on stage tonight. And anyone in future who throws a doll head on stage, everyone who chanted Gary, it's actually Gareth. But for real, we thank you so much. And the fact that we did it for 10 years is amazing. And we're going to do it for 10 more months, maximum. We appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. Keep it going for James. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Hey, Dollop fans. I know you love the Dollop. You love listening to the Dollop. Do you want to watch the Dollop? You're like, Gareth, what are you talking about? By the way, it's not Gary, it's Gareth. Well, we have partnered with Lakeside Animation, and we are starting to animate some of our episodes. So if you want to go watch a 5-parter animation, which is actually like a 22-minute episode or 30-minute episode, I can't remember, of The Rube, you can go to Lakeside Animation on YouTube and watch a really awesome animation of The Rube. It really genuinely kicks ass, and we're very proud of it. And the more you share it, the more you give it to people, the more you follow Lakeside, all that stuff, the better chance we have of making a lot more of them. We're already making a second one, so go there and watch The Rube.
This is Dan Kaplis. Our firm has been blessed with record-setting success in truck crash cases, including what's believed to be the largest jury verdict in Colorado history in a trucking case, $26 million. And our success at trial has helped us achieve many large out-of-court settlements in trucking cases. We are a serious firm for serious cases. We accept righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis. If you need my help, call 303-770-5551 or hit dankapleslaw.com.